Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots.
Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Now, here are Bill Jones, Heckma Harrison, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
It is high noon +2 on a Tuesday here inside the SWBC podcast studio at the beautiful Star in Frisco. Heckma says, come on in. It's time for another edition of Mick Shots. Bill Jones, Everson Walls, Heckma Harrison, and wearing a tie again today is Mickey Spagnola.
Jacket and everything.
They're all duded up.
TV, and I forgot to dress down, and I looked at the clock, and I said, okay, I got to go.
Got to go. We got to go here. We got a lot to talk about.
Easter Sunday, baby.
Easter Sunday.
Yeah, he's got on his Sunday best. That's what you, for when the Cowboys win on Sunday, you wear a suit the rest of the week, okay? You want to do that? Agree to that?
No.
That is not going to work. I knew that wasn't going to work.
I thought you were going to ask me, did I have to wear a suit when I was small going to church on Sunday?
Oh, yeah, I bet you did.
Bet you did.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Back in that day. Now you don't have to. You can wear shorts to church these days.
That's the only time I got new shoes. Was on Easter Sunday. I had to wear them all year long.
Then I had to protect my knuckles because I talked in church, and the nuns would come and get me with the ruler.
All right, so much to get to, and we had a couple of games on Monday night. We had Jadeveon Clowney holding court outside the Cowboys locker room yesterday. We've got injury situations arising because we're now into week 3 of this season. So much to get to. Where would you like to start on your legal pad there, Mickey?
There's not much on this legal pad because the real one's back at home.
Let's start with something on Cooper Beebe to start with, because there's been a clarification on his injury rather than being a high ankle sprain, being called a lateral sprain with a broken bone in his foot, but the timeline appears to be the same, I think, 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, and sometimes that's what a high ankle sprain ends up being. It's a ligament and bone problem. So 6 to 8 weeks.
Uh-oh, sorry about that, guys.
Well, we have a commercial.
Didn't know we were going to have that, but sorry about that. Exciting.
Yeah, and you hate to guy in his second year and going to miss almost half the season with the foot ankle injury. So, yeah, that hurts.
Okay.
Because think about it. We were talking about when they started the season that these 5 guys were going to play their first game together ever. And now they played 2, and now they got a pause.
Well, I must admit, it was 2 good ones. They showed me something. I talked to as I was bragging on our offensive line, before I could get it out of my mouth, then there goes what's that running back's name?
Beebe.
Not Beebe.
Oh, the running back. Javonte Williams.
Javonte Williams. Javonte took it to the house. I was just talking about how, because you guys kept talking about how good the Giants' defense was. And we talked about that.
The front
7 is good. And that front 7, you see how well it made those DBs play at times. Our misdirection was not working well at all at times because of the pressure put on by the front 7.
Penetration.
And that, therefore, the secondary was able to play downhill as well. And some of our plays didn't go anywhere because they smelled it out just like that. So that's why I'm kind of proud of the way our offense played, because that was not an easy task by a very young and to me, fearless offensive line by the Cowboys.
Yeah, well, how do you feel about Brock Hoffman, stepping in that role? I mean, I think Brock Hoffman, when he had to come in before, I think last season it was for Zach Martin.
And he made 7 starts last year.
Right,
so.
and I think we felt okay, about him. Now he goes from guard to center, which is a complete different dynamic for him. But like you said, man, you started to see this offensive line start to gel. It's unfortunate that Beebe is going to be missed significant time. But, man, if they can keep the good feelings going with this running game that they have, I think, they can hold it together until he gets back.
I always thought Brock Hoffman was a better center than he was a guard.
You said that.
Did I say it before?
Yeah, you've said that before.
And I hold to it because I thought he came in and now Dak, as the quarterback has to do, right, took responsibility for the bad snap or the fumbled snap. I shouldn't say bad snap. If he said
exchange, the bad
Could have been
Yeah.
that could have been disastrous.
That really
Yeah,
could have been.
yeah. But if you looked out how he played,
the way Dak was able to get Dak waited for everyone to pass by, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Dak's made a couple of plays like that already this season on the fumble.
He's got
two fumbles
right.
where he's made great plays that basically saved the day.
well, one was a recovery, one was a
tackle.
a touchdown saving tackle, right? But I thought he played well. I thought he did a good job. And now think about it, he'll actually have a week of practice, not just getting the crumbs that a backup gets. Now, here's the deal, though. So now you got the backup playing. Who's the backup to the back?
And it's exactly where I was going. I was going to ask you, for the offensive line coach Connor Riley, when he wakes up this morning, in the last couple of mornings, what is on his mind more than anything right now?
Depth.
It's the
What
depth,
happens if Brock Hoffman gets
and I've got the answer for you.
okay?
First, T.J. Bass,
Who they gave him some snaps in the preseason
right?
at center.
And then they picked up a guy
Trevor
off
Keegan.
waivers,
Oh.
Trevor Keegan. Now, they listed him as an offensive tackle when they made him inactive, but
He's a guard.
between those two guys, they're
He's an
gonna be
interior guy.
the backup center. Yeah.
Okay, and Trevor Keegan was with the Eagles, and so they picked him up. It was actually during Eagles week,
Right.
So
Right. So
yeah.
those are the two guys I was talking to.
So that's a guy who's not on anyone's radar probably, unless you're paying close attention. But I just looked him up, and I don't know that he has any experience playing center either.
If you're paying close attention to any of the games, you've got a lot of injuries.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you saw the game last night. Tampa had to wing it with a lot of guys.
Well, they're already missing their left tackle, Tristan Wirfs, who's
They
one of
lost
the best guys. And then they lost their right tackle. They've got Barton. There's Graham Barton, their center, who's moved out. He played left tackle at Duke and one of the best centers in the league, and he's been playing left tackle the first two games of the year. Then they lose their right tackle, and yet they're still able to put together an 80-yard drive to win the game over the Texans, who have a worse offensive line situation.
Therefore, no excuses.
Well, and they
No excuse.
nearly lost the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Tampa?
How many times did he get up and
Jeez.
you're thinking he's done?
Yeah.
No, not
That was a gutsy performance by Baker.
But that-
You know,
he's always
people that
gutsy.
love and hate him at the same time. I know that's not you, Bill. But
that's so funny. I kind of feel the same way about him.
yeah, you love and hate him.
As a fan, I'm not crazy about him, but as a former player, you got guts, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got guts. I like watching him play, but sometimes you just hate how pesky he is, especially if you're going against him.
But in those final minutes, I was I said it. I said, man, he's about to win this game.
Yeah.
Because of how he is. If the play breaks down, he will scramble, he will run. He doesn't care about his body, which you need to have that little bit of, caution for yourself if you're the quarterback.
But you also got to have a little bit of guts going as well.
He's a little crazy though.
You know what was the key? You know what was the key for them on that 80-yard drive? They still had their timeouts.
Yeah.
It was game management, and so they were actually they were facing 4th and 10 at their own 30-yard line or whatever it was. They could have, since they had all 3 timeouts left, it was with 2 minutes left basically. They could have punted if they wanted to, but instead they sent everybody out, and they were in man coverage. They didn't have a spy. The Texans didn't. They rushed 5, and Baker was able to get free and got 15 yards and a first down. Well, they still got their timeouts, and so now they don't have to throw for the sideline. They can use the middle of the field. They can run the ball if they want to,
Which
and they just
did
matriculate
very
down
well
the field. Exactly.
with old Bucky.
Yep. So they did a great job of clock management.
I just don't like my quarterback running and then he grabs his leg before he gets up. And it's like, oh.
And then CJ comes over and talks trash to him, and
Yes.
he forgot about his injury. He wasn't hurt
That's all he
anymore.
needed. That's all he needed.
And then he got up and got right back in
Yeah,
the
right in
guy's
his
face.
face,
Right.
yeah.
Well, speaking of mismanagement, I heard yesterday in the interview with Coach Brian Schottenheimer talking about the end of the first half. Mickey, if you were in there, just
Yes.
what was that when he's saying he mismanaged the time to get a field goal off?
They they had a timeout left, right? And they tried to get the snap off, and it's like, just call timeout, right? Because I believe they had one left. Am I right?
If we were anywhere close to 50, then that's.
But that was a good admission for him as a coach. He admitted, he's like, look, that's on me. I mismanaged that. And so many times, the media will bake a coach over something like that if it ends in a loss.
Okay, so they were at, with 15 seconds left. This is the first half.
Yes.
15 seconds left. They are 3rd and 10 at the 50-yard line. And it was the Giants, actually, who used their second timeout. Going to force the Cowboys, I think that's what I got written
Before
down.
the play, right?
Yeah, before the play with 15 seconds left. Completion to Ferguson for 2. So they're at the plus 48-yard line facing 4th and 8 at that point. And so if you're thinking about, okay, are you in field goal range? You're at the plus 48-yard line. That's a 66-yarder.
Hell yeah, I'm in field goal range.
Field goal.
What are you talking
We're in field goal range.
Yes.
I don't know about the rest of the league.
Yes.
But we're in field goal range.
So he referenced that in yesterday's press conference, that, okay, yeah, he could have decided not to. This team, not the same coaching staff, has been in a situation like that before at midfield at Washington about 15 years ago, and they weren't in field goal range then, but they decided to run another play, and they flip it out to Tashard Choice. He fumbles on the sideline, and Washington takes it for. Things can go wrong at the 50-yard line at the end of the first half. We have seen that before, and so he just, at 13-10, and getting the ball back to start the second half, he decided not to risk it, I think, more than anything.
I think he wanted to make sure he drained the seconds off the clock. But, yeah, they could have, had one more play if you wanted to. And remember that, what year was that, you said?
Sorry, I can't remember.
Well,
He said 15 years.
When Tashard was here, so it was around 2010, 2011, something like that.
Probably 2010, because I think that everybody was blaming Garrett for it because he was the offensive coordinator. That he called one more play, and then they fumbled and returned for a touchdown.
Well, I think up until this point, I have seen a lean and mean Dak Prescott. I've always liked his game, but there's something a little more to him this year, it seems like. Didn't start off well in the first couple of drives or even the first half of the game, but he seems to get more of a sense of urgency sooner than later, as he used to do in previous years. They had, for some reason, no one talked about it, there was a stat of he had 4 passes that were of 30% probability, as low as 30% probability.
To complete them?
To complete them. And he completed 4 of those in the game.
Who makes that decision?
I don't know. And it was such a weird
It's
stat.
not a computer,
But I saw
is it?
It's a PFF thing, man.
But it was, don't stop.
What's that? What's that?
No, we
Pro
don't
Football
We don't
Focus.
want to start with that already.
What's wrong? You guys know PFF around here?
PFF.
Oh,
Not in my-
another sore spot.
Not in my vocabulary.
Thank you for that,
Hey,
Everson.
Bill's timing him out.
You were trying.
It's like the 2 Labradors. Like, oh,
You were trying.
But someone came up with that stat, and they had it on the NFL Network. And it was a compliment, obviously, of the risk that he took. And of course, it came out. It was worth the risk. One of them had to be the diving catch. Of course, the other one, and everyone's making a big deal of that one, as we did yesterday, the 3rd down catch. CD is double team front and back. He's, just
It's a hell of a throw.
Man,
That's a hell of a throw.
Catch too. You got
Yeah.
to have somebody who can go up and get that.
Yeah.
And he went and got it.
What was the probability on the interception?
Well, you see, and that's where he got a little carried away. He's like, okay,
Right.
you feeling yourself a little too much, player. So just calm down. and he did. And that, I think that was the thing. He didn't let, also that interception didn't give him any shyness. He still stayed as smartly aggressive. You just got to give him a lot of credit in regards to having confidence.
How about the touchdown to
players.
Turpin? I mean, he threaded the needle on that ball.
thank
to
you.
He
Turpin,
sure did.
You know?
You don't really see that much on the goal line in the red zone from us.
There's a 3rd and 9 play at the 10-yard line.
Out of the slot.
I've seen him make plays like that to Amari Cooper when Amari Cooper was here, thread the needle like that in a few games. I am one of those people. I've been beat down by the Dak criticism over the years. That it's like it's almost hard to praise him in situations because the national media and whatever will say so many bad things about Dak. But when you see him time and time again come up clutch, time and time again, put this team in a position to win, regardless if it's the Giants. I mean, it's just coming from the hamstring injury, I think people have thought that there was going to be some regression in his game. He's come out and just proved everybody the throws into CeeDee Lamb, not only that big one that you're talking about, there were other ones that he threw into double coverage as well. Now, Dak has never got the gunslinger title on him, but you see a little bit of that. And when you talk about him throwing the interception in that confidence, I think that's something that you only get by time on.
Play by that DB. Most DBs, CD is going to turn that corner and be ahead of him as he was on the 3rd down.
Right.
That DB really made a nice turn. He really made a nice turn. I haven't seen anyone keep up with CD like that. DBs get paid too. The guy just made a good play, and Dak was trying to throw it in.
I went back to look at that because I was thinking, did CD allow him to cross his face? And he didn't.
It's the other way around.
The guy was
the
inside
guy didn't
the whole
allow
time.
CD to cross
his face. You're right.
Which is the way he usually does it.
Yeah, and the touchdown pass to Pickens, that's an unbelievable throw.
The guy, DB never saw it. What was that?
And Dak talked about this at one point in training camp. He tried an attempt, and it probably wasn't wise, and it got picked off, and they were going to take him out, right? And he goes, no, don't take me out. I got to find out if I can fit that in. And this is practice. It's not the game.
Practice.
So I got to find out if I can fit that ball in.
And once again,
he learned.
It shows you, when your guys are together all off season, things are different.
Helps.
When your guys are together all off season, it's just different. And of course, the addition of someone like Pickens, who you can double CD all you want. I'm going to make you come double me.
Well, that's what happened on the touchdown to Turpin, right? They're on the outside. Probably safeties are doubling those guys, and he just had to beat the guy he had, and the guy had no shot, right? Turpin's going to put a move on him, and he's going to be
Turpin's
open.
got receiving skills, too.
Yes, that's
he can
what
make
you got to remember.
Yeah.
One more thing. What do you think about our choice of targets in clutch situations?
I don't like it.
You didn't like it?
Let's talk about it when we come back. Okay, so targets in clutch situations. Remember this: targets in clutch, and I want to continue the discussion on Dak too, and the national narrative on Dak, and how well we know how it would change, but that's on down the road. But let's talk about that when we come back here on Mix Shots in just a moment.
Hey, Cowboy fans, Keith Davis here, former Cowboys safety.
Keith Davis into the end zone.
You know what separates champions from the rest? Making the right move at the right moment. With blockchain.com, that's never been easier. The Cowboys became America's team by striking bold when it mattered most. Now it's your turn. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com. Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys today to get started and learn more. That's blockchain.com/Cowboys.
Look, school's starting and I'm just a kid. And let's be honest, I'm not going to shop for myself. But we can get up to 40% off back-to-school essentials on Uber Eats. Did I mention I need poster board for my science fair, lunch for my field trip, and unlined note cards for my history quiz tomorrow? Or were they lined? Anyway, Uber Eats has all the back-to-school stuff on there. So come on, let's order now on Uber Eats and get up to 40% off. We're cool, right? Cool.
Not literally everything. Promotion ends 9/16 and is subject to change or cancellation. Exclusions may apply. Check app for availability.
Miller Lite, the legendary light beer. The originator, the inventor. If this beer could talk, it'd tell stories about that one time, that night, that one guy, that one gal. Writing a story 50 years long and 50 million friends wide. Because legendary stories start with a light. Here's to 50 years of Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Hey, Cowboy fans, if you're thinking about attending a game this season, visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today. Stay at the team hotel, have dinner with a Cowboys legend, and experience the best sports venue in the world, AT&T Stadium. Also, tour the Star, get autographs from your favorite players, and talk X's and O's with me, Mickey Spagnola. The official travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys will take care of all your travel needs. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your package today.
Back to Mick Shots.
The most action-packed motorsports experience in the world returns to Arlington. Head to AT&T Stadium on Saturday, October 4th for a Monster Jam. Get ready to cheer, scream, and be amazed as massive monster trucks take over Arlington. Tickets are now on sale at SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing partner of AT&T Stadium.
Okay, we are bound and determined to stay on task here in this segment. Okay, we tease targets and Dak. Let's start with targets. Everson, you're the one who brought it up. So what's your question on targets?
We had a few clutch situations that we had to perform on. We had to be successful on. And everyone's thinking, okay, he's going to go to Ferguson because CD and Pickens will probably be, double team. And so you look up and he's thrown not just once or twice, maybe 4 times to Jalen Tolbert in the clutch.
Yeah.
I mean, this is do or die. I mean, it was so many moments of do or die. This was just 4 of them.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was about 50%. One of those throws was one of the under 30% probability throws. Jalen made a great catch, but that was after the one before that where he wasn't open at all and didn't even make a good effort for the ball.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing about this guy. As a matter of fact, before he caught the one that was beautiful, I'm cursing him out in my house. I'm sorry. I'm like, why are they throwing to this guy? I told him on this podcast that, this is not my guy, and sure enough, he comes up with an amazing catch that we surely needed. But it still stayed inconsistent. And I knew that guys in this room were thinking, damn, we're going to this guy that many times when we really need this game. What does that say about Dak's confidence in this guy? Yeah. Or what does it say about he just went with the read?
Yeah,
he went with where it took him.
With the read.
He went with where it took him.
And that should have been Turpin.
Yeah. That should have been Turpin, exactly. Exactly.
Because Turpin was out of the game.
Exactly.
We I don't mean to get away from the targets, but
no, this is part of it.
Turpin changes the complexion of the game when he's in there, and not just as a receiver. Did you like Jalen Tolbert returning kickoffs?
Hell no. No.
No. Hell no.
No. No.
And
I don't think Jalen Tolbert liked it.
He ran like it.
Like, hey, man, can you kick it to the other guy?
Yeah, get
right?
out of here.
Well, number one, from a confidence standpoint, I'm thinking, just catch it, right? Because if it's Turpin, it's like, go catch it and
make a spin move.
Something's going to happen, right? Yeah. When Tolbert did it, it was like, please catch it and get to the 20, right? It changes the whole complexion of kickoff returns. And it changes how they're kicking, right? Because before, like last year, they're just saying, no, we're not dealing with him. It's a touchback. You can have the ball at the 30, right? Well, now when you get it at the 35,
give you a chance to return it.
And you got the combination of Aubrey kicking 60-yard field goals.
Yeah.
All you got to do is pick up 15, 20 yards, and he's got a shot.
One first down, you're kicking a field goal.
So now Turpin's getting the kickoff. He had, I don't have my notebook. I left it at home. I think he had 105 yards in kickoff returns. Now, there was a lot of kickoffs, which you don't want. But again, he's a threat every time he's got the ball, and they're saying, no, you're not getting the ball at the 35. I'm kicking it to the 5-yard line, and we got to go cover him.
And when he's a wide receiver, then you're talking about Yak.
Right.
You throw it to him, you're looking for Yak. When you throw it to Tolbert, what you see is what you get. He's going to catch it, and most likely he's going to go down. You don't get much Yak out of Tolbert. It'd be great if I could see that. If I saw him catch a ball and is able to shake a tackle and go to the high, that's something I'm looking forward to.
That'll give you that confidence in
That would give me the confidence.
Yeah.
Right now, I just see him. He's like me, making interceptions. I got 57 interceptions and 1 touchdown. All right? So you're not going to
Come on, Everson.
Hey, man, I'm calling it out. I'm calling it out. So you got Deion. He's got like 50-something, and he's got like 10, 12, whatever touchdown. So there's a difference.
His jetpack a little different.
There's a difference. And so are theirs. The jetpack's a little different when it comes to comparing those two. And I just wanted to see even more from him. But having said that, he made me eat my words when he made that.
Can I add this?
Go ahead, and while you're doing that, I'm going to look up Everson's interception return yardage and compare it to Deion. So you
Don't
do that.
That's cold-blooded, Bill.
That is bad.
That is cold-blooded, Bill.
It's my fault. I brought it up. Go ahead.
But if you haven't seen The Gambler and his Cowboys, you got to go watch that. But the one with the playmaker, the one with Mike, and I think you go into the head of these wide receivers, these wide receiver ones, where if the game's on the line, give me the ball. Yeah. You know, he talks about the time where he switched out, you know, to and it ended up going the other way
to Harper,
to Alvin Harper, and it's like this is one of those things. He wants the ball, and so you look at the quarterbacks of the league, man. It don't matter. Joe Montana. Jerry Rice and Taylor. He's going to make other guys, either Clark and those guys are going to get involved, but he has his man guys. To me, when I look at, and this is a conversation that I had with Nate Newton about clutch time performance, big game hunters, as he calls them. He's like, look, when it is all down, the chips are down, and it's nut cutting time, we got Mike's getting the ball. Jay Novacek is getting the ball. We already know the pecking order of the guys that are getting the ball. This just shows the kind of leader, though, that Dak is. It's like, hey, you run that route, you're open, I'm going to get you the ball. But when it gets down to clutch time, and it was the 90s Cowboys, it's Mike, and then Jay Novacek. Right. So let's get to your playmakers. And you have two really good playmakers out there. Force feed those guys in moments like that, because that's why you pay them
on that third down.
But that's why you pay them guys that money, and they live for moments like that. Yeah. Not that Jalen Tolbert, look, he had his opportunity, but span forward, Schoonmaker. No, man, that's it. No, and not taking anything away from those guys.
But it's not their role.
Not your time.
It's not their role.
Well, Schottenheimer said it repeatedly. Sometimes when you call a play, you're not calling the play, you're calling the play to the player. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, I got to get the ball to this guy in this situation. That's why I'm calling this play.
And then the quarterback knows that.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So, yeah, I just thought it was kind of odd that Tolbert was getting so many opportunities. It didn't hurt us. It was about 50-50 because, making that catch, that made up for a lot of what I, previously thought about it.
Here it comes.
Okay, this is going to be good.
Why is he smiling, man?
Because you know why he's smiling.
His cheeks are red.
By the way, we'll probably carry over the Dak conversation now to the next segment. All right, this is good because this makes the Hall of Fame case.
Okay, let's do
Everson Walls.
All right.
Okay? Deion Sanders, we consider him right up there, the greatest cornerback of all time. Right up there, he's in the. If it's a very short conversation.
That's right.
Okay, it doesn't take long to call roll there. Mm-hmm. All right, Deion in his career played 188 games. Everson Walls played 186 games.
Oh wow.
Okay. Deion had 53 interceptions in his career. Everson had 57
gold
interceptions.
Man, right away.
There it is, gold jacket right there.
Hold up, wait a minute.
Okay. Right away.
Now the next shoe.
Right away. Right away.
This is where we'll go ahead and give Deion the greatest cornerback of all time. But that doesn't mean Everson doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame, okay?
Yeah, I still wouldn't give him greatest of all time, but go ahead.
Or he's in the conversation.
Yes,
he's in the conversation, okay?
Correct.
Everson, are you in the conversation greatest cornerback of all time?
I should be.
Yeah, I agree. I like that. Now, but you're not the greatest interception returner of all time, right?
He said,
you already admitted that.
Set me up, man. He keeps setting.
Okay. You set yourself up. I intercepted, but I'm down where I get it.
Everson on 57 interceptions had 504 return yards.
Okay.
So you sold yourself short there. You said you didn't get any return yards.
I said no touchdowns.
Or you had one touchdown.
Yeah.
How long was the touchdown? How long was
so
it?
that
17.
Oh, it was right there.
They were on my ass. Oh, boy, I barely made it.
You know what? The one interception I had in my life playing 9-year-old Irving YMCA football, it was a 17-yard return for a touchdown. I had one pick six.
Did you
intercepted Bill Banowski and took it to the house. All right.
What?
But,
remember the little kid's name. He's a grown man that's still mad at Bill.
What?
That was the end of his quarterback.
Well, he lived on the street over from me, so it was a big rivalry.
That's a backstory.
Yeah, he was older than me, too. All right.
Oh, man.
8.8 yards of return.
Right.
Everson. Okay.
Right.
Congratulations. You had a great career.
Thank you.
Dion on 53 interceptions. Okay. Everson had 504 return yards. Dion had 1,331 return yards. That's 25.1 yards per return.
I thought he'd have more.
And 9 touchdowns.
I thought he'd have more.
9 picks.
Because I just always remember just taking it to the house.
Mm-hmm. 25 yards of returns, pretty 9. So he had 9 touchdowns.
We're not talking punt returns.
Well,
we're just talking interception returns.
So when you ran 17 yards, you didn't reverse field and go the other way?
No. I was like, oh, hello, hurry up. Hurry up. There
I'm adding one more.
I got tired and anxious because everyone was close to me.
And by the way, you still got Dion on picks when it comes to the playoffs too. Okay, if you add the postseason and regular season together, you had 4 picks in the postseason for 61 in your career. Dion had 5 for 58. So you got 58.
Bad man. That's a bad man. That's a bad man right there. I tell everybody they couldn't even be around me. I'd be 57. I got 57.
I'm gonna start taking you with me.
17 yards.
Can you play theme music?
Yeah, I will. Right behind you as you're walking, like Shaft.
All right, let's talk Dak when we come back here on Mick Shots in just a moment.
Good stuff.
Look, school is starting and I'm just a kid. And let's be honest, I'm not going to shop for myself. But we can get up to 40% off back-to-school essentials on Uber Eats. Did I mention I need poster board for my science fair, lunch for my field trip, and unlined note cards for my history quiz tomorrow? Or were they lined? Anyway, Uber Eats has all the back-to-school stuff on there. So come on, let's order now on Uber Eats and get up to 40% off. We're cool, right? Cool.
Not literally everything. Promotion ends 9/16. It is subject to change or cancellation. Exclusions may apply. Check app for availability.
Hey, Cowboy fans. Keith Davis here, former Cowboys safety.
Keith Davis into the end zone.
You know what separates champions from the rest? Making the right move at the right moment. With blockchain.com, that's never been easier. The Cowboys became America's team by striking bold when it mattered most. Now it's your turn. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com. Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys today to get started and learn more. That's blockchain.com/Cowboys.
Miller Lite, the legendary light beer. The originator, the inventor. If this beer could talk, it'd tell stories about that one time, that night, that one guy, that one gal. Writing a story 50 years long and 50 million friends wide. Because legendary stories start with a light. Here's to 50 years of Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
The National Medal of Honor Museum is now open in Arlington, Texas, just a few blocks from AT&T Stadium. Immersive exhibits and exciting technology allow you to fly a rescue helicopter mission in Vietnam and have conversations with virtual Medal of Honor recipients. Come be inspired by these incredible stories of ordinary Americans who did the extraordinary. Get your tickets at mohmuseum.org.
Back to Mick Shots.
Are you a Cowboys super fan? The search is on for the 2025 Fan of the Year presented by Captain Morgan. Now through September 29th, nominate extraordinary NFL fans, dynamic duos, and game changers who rep the Cowboys with pride and turn every game day into an unforgettable adventure. You also could be sent to Super Bowl 60. Enter to win at NFL.com/fan of the year today.
Okay, let's talk Dak here. And what got me thinking about it on the drive in, and it was great that y'all brought it up yourselves in talking about Dak and how well he's starting the season, how good he looks right now. He's in the same form he was 2 years ago, and now he's got even more weapons to throw to, and so you can see what the promise is offensively for this team. What made me think about it was I was listening to Bob Papa, the voice of the Giants, on the radio driving in, and he was talking about Justin Herbert last night. Yeah. And the Chargers won 20-9. Herbert played a solid game, and they were talking about how Herbert's progress and how much better he looks now, whatever. But Papa
every year.
But Bob Papa said, I can't get out of my head what he does in the playoffs. And so I understand he's doing he looks great and everything, but I can't get past how he's performed in the playoffs. And I think, obviously, that's the thing on the national narrative as far as Dak is concerned. It's not winning in the playoffs. Dak knows this. We all know this, whatever.
He had maybe 2 good games in the playoffs.
But then people don't even remember the good games that he had because the Cowboys haven't had playoff success.
I remember the Green Bay game where Aaron Rodgers beat us.
They don't even mention the Tampa Bay game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're upset about it because nobody wanted them to beat Tom Brady that badly.
I mean,
they really, you can actually tell that was like a little salt in the game because everybody's like, well, man, you see how he did Brady. Yeah, well, but after, it's always.
And along those same lines, they were also talking about Baker Mayfield. And I can't remember who was on the show with him. And they were talking, they said, Baker Mayfield, he's up there top 5 quarterbacks in the league now. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're riding the Baker.
They're ready to give it to him.
Exactly, right. And I'm like, Dak finished second in the MVP voting 2 years ago, and nobody puts Dak in the top, never mind the top 5,
mentioned.
Top 10.
It's rarely
they don't put him up there,
It's rarely mentioned.
So I wish I had this. I did a kind of a study. I picked out the quarterbacks in playoffs, big names, right? What was your record in a playoff game where you had to score 30 or more points to win? Mm-hmm. Almost everybody but Brady had a losing record. Dak put up 32 against Green Bay. Mm-hmm. Cowboys give up 48. He put up, as a rookie, 30, 31, and then they
fell behind, and then he had one of his best. It was like an Aikman.
Tied the game up.
It was like an Aikman NFC Championship game in San Francisco. They fell behind by so much.
And they give up 33 points, and he gets beat. So, and Peyton Manning was one of them I looked up. And his record when he had to...
It took him a while.
And he had to score 30-some points. When he had to do that, they got beat.
Nobody's going to – the thing is, nobody's going to cry for Dak. He's highest paid quarterback in the league. Nobody feels anything when it comes to him or his accomplishments, and that's why those people are so eager to push other people in front of him without mentioning his accomplishments. And I think – Dak just has to have that killer gene. This is you gotta do it, and that's the only way you get these guys off your back. That's the only way you get the recognition is you go and you win it all. You go out here in those clutch moments and you serve these guys a 2-piece when they least expect it. I mean, no one even came into this season giving the Cowboys a chance, let alone a chance against the Philadelphia Eagles. And he goes out there and he performs. You see him in his second game versus the Giants lead 25 seconds or whatever, 27 seconds, whatever it is, to pull the game to overtime. That's clutch. Nobody ever mentions that. They'll talk about Aubrey, which was crazy what he did. But in order to put you in that position, Dak has to be lights out. He's done it time and time again. You look at his stats, where he is, who he's passing in the organization. Again, they're so good at disrespecting him, and the only way that he earns that respect is going out and winning it all. It's on him.
Well, the narrative is always about the team, the way the team is run a lot of times, whether it's a win or a loss. It's like, they concentrate on the entire team instead of saying, okay, this is our leader. This is the Cowboys' leader right here. They just won't give him that. I was going to ask you, because a couple of years ago, you had some stats about how many comeback wins he's had, or game-winning drives.
That was 24.
That he's had.
He's tied with Romo for the most. But here's what it's about. It's not about Dak. It's what you got on your chest.
That's what I'm saying. The organization itself.
Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
They just want to
what do
talk
you think
about that.
used to happen and still happens in the Pro Football Hall of Fame? Cowboys.
Yeah.
Guys that aren't in, that should be in, Cowboys. It's not what they did, it's who they did it with.
That's right.
Because there used to be in the 80s and 90s this bias against the Cowboys. And too many guys that were voting just on the East Coast.
Most reporters wouldn't say this, Spags. You might get out.
Better watch yourself.
Well,
Watch yourself.
But I'm right.
Yeah, I believe it. I've always said it.
The columnist from Minneapolis, he was outspoken. I'll never vote for a Cowboy in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
No, that's
And you see teams like the Eagles able to get players in. When I was, that one time I was up, Brian Dawkins made it. And then as you look at the cornerback that made it last year, Eric Allen.
Yeah.
Eric Allen. I like Eric Allen. First of all, that's my thing. Everyone, to me, whoever doesn't get in, I remember I walked on the bus. They said, man, I thought you made it. Man, you deserve to make it. I said, man, we all deserve to make it. You know, because I'm looking at Torrey Holt sitting there saying, I deserve to make it. Torrey Holt, you understand? Man, you deserve to make it too, but he didn't make it that year.
You got to be if you're looking at the map, you got to be on the right side of the Mississippi.
Mm-hmm. Because they run it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look, I don't have a vote. I don't know. All I'm saying is that if I had one, I'd put him, if I had a vote, Everson, if I had one, you and Darren Woodson,
I'd be over for dinner.
Yeah, you better believe it. It's unfortunate to see guys work their whole careers to get to this point and for some personal vendetta to be like, I was never a Cowboy fan growing, whatever it is, that to me, that's insane.
And I think what you're dealing with now is youth. Guys like yourself, you're a little older, you know the history of a lot of things. I think the younger generation of reporters, nothing on them because they got a lot of players that they've seen play that were hell of a players, but they're not trying to go back freaking 1981. I ain't trying to go back.
And the stats are different now than it's a different game now.
And they don't even want to tackle that.
Yeah.
They don't even want to tackle that part of the subject.
Mm-hmm. History.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Javonte Williams, remember I told you the story about 33? I went back and looked. He's the first player wearing 33 to score a touchdown since Dorsett.
Interesting.
And they only had one other running back, though, that wore 33.
Since Dorsett?
Yeah. It was Timmy Smith.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize Timmy wore 33.
He wore 30 in 1990.
Yep.
Remember
who
he
wore
was
33
the Super
before?
Bowl hero?
Of course.
Who
for
won?
the Redskins.
I was there when he signed with Texas Tech in Hobbs, New Mexico. Jerry Moore was the coach at Texas Tech. I went on a private plane with him to sign Timmy Smith. He was their hotshot recruit. Who wore 33? What running back wore 33 before Tony Dorsett with the Cowboys?
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Who?
We just went back to the 70s.
I know.
Is this show over yet? Come on, Spags. I'm leaving, bro.
Oh, it was
The silent
Don't be
assassin.
He's on the hand. You know what happens when he does that.
it was the guy that didn't want to talk.
See, that's all he knows. He didn't want to talk.
His
He didn't know about
Sorry.
1972 how he's killed
Out
the
of
Dolphins.
West Texas State.
Right.
All he remembers is, he wouldn't talk. See, you're an instigator.
And they traded him and got him back.
Trade him to New
What's
England.
his name,
Back.
though?
Yeah, we need his name, Mickey. How did soon they
Blanking out. Come on.
All right, man.
Dwayne
Thomas.
Okay. You should have just said Thomas. He would have missed it.
The guy
would have said Bill Thomas.
Yeah.
the guy that wouldn't talk, and then he came to training camp one year because they wanted to do interviews with him, and he wouldn't leave.
No, he had something to say.
He was on John's couch because they didn't have a place for him because they were doing a documentary, and he came and he talked and talked and talked, and finally 3 days later it was like, excuse us, but we didn't plan on putting you up for the whole week.
I was there at the Doug Williams. That was the Doug Williams Super Bowl. I was there because
Timmy Smith.
Yep. I was there because I had gotten a settlement from the NFL because they were using my likeness without my permission.
Oh.
And it was Kodak. It was Kodak because they were using the catch.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting a nice settlement. Part of that settlement was going to the game. And so I was going to take my wife with me, but she was pregnant with my son, so I took my best friend. Man, we had a ball. And then to sit there and watch Doug do what he did, of course, my teammate.
Yeah.
Man, that was one of the best moments I've ever had, besides playing in sports.
Timmy Smith had 204 yards rushing in that Super Bowl.
And Doug had 4 touchdown passes.
Mm-hmm. Doug was the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
As a black quarterback.
Yeah, they asked him how long he had been a black quarterback.
Do you know?
That was one of the questions.
In my career,
He was an Asian kid. He was from over in Japan. He's like,
No.
They said it was an Asian guy.
No.
It wasn't?
I worked with that guy.
So who was it? Who asked the question then?
His name was Butch John.
Why would he ask that question?
He didn't ask it the way it got pointed out. He prefaced it by saying, as long as you've been a black quarterback, but it got turned around, right? And so it was, well, how long have you been a black quarterback?
Well, Doug took it obviously the wrong way because he's like, what are you asking, man? What's going on here?
But he's responsible for me being in Dallas because I was working with him in Jackson, and we were both covering Ole Miss there was 2 papers, and I was like, I can't ride with this guy anymore to Oxford. And I said, I got to find a new job.
You went from Oxford to Oxnard.
That's right.
Yep. All right.
We got our extra 2 minutes.
Yes.
We got it in?
We did.
Yeah.
We did. Okay. We turn our attention. Who's the opponent this week? We didn't mention the opponent.
The Bears.
Chicago Bears.
I think we can talk about them now, right?
Turn our
We're
attention
over it.
to the Chicago Bears on the next edition of Mick Shots at high noon tomorrow.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!